my people, it's your girl B. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I'm with a very special guest and she is...
Hi guys, my name is Thandega.
Yeah, this is my guest Thandega, right? She's also from SA and today we are bringing you a very informative video, okay? It is how to come to South Korea. Okay, so we are going to be doing like a versus because Thandega came to South Korea via a private.
I work for a private academy, well known as a Hagwon.
Yes, and I work for EPIK, which is public school. So we're going to be giving you info on how to come via EPIK and via
Hagwon.
Yay! Okay, so let's begin. We're going to speak about agencies, okay? So I came with an agency called Kovia, which works with EPIK, okay? EPIK is English program in Korea. So they recruit teachers to come to Korea to teach in public school. What about you, Thandega?
Okay, so when I was applying to come to South Korea, I used an agency. So with my route, which is the Hagwon route, you can choose to either apply with an agency or you can choose to apply directly to the school. So you find the schools via Facebook pages for South Africans in South Korea, or you can go to a site called Dave's ECL. So that's where most jobs, most Hagwon jobs are posted. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Also, I forgot to mention that you can apply to EPIK directly if you want to, and I think there are other agencies that you can apply via, and then they can connect you to EPIK. I'm not too sure about them, but I am very sure about Kovia because I did that. So I'm gonna be explaining the process on how to come here with Kovia. Okay, let's begin with the requirements. Okay, needed to come to South Korea, okay, via a Hagwon. What are the requirements for
Okay,
Hagwon?
so the first and most important thing is for you to have a bachelor's degree. It can be in any field. It doesn't have to be teaching only. You can also have honors, masters, whatever, just as long as it's a university qualification. And then you need a clear criminal record, which is a police clearance. Another thing that you need 120-hour TEFL certificate. Yeah, and a passport, obviously. Those are just...
Don't forget the passport, guys. You have to have a passport.
Very important.
Okay. For coming via EPIK, they only take people from native speaking countries. The second one is that you need to have like a 60% aggregate for your university, which means that you have to have a degree in any field, like Thandega said, in any field, but you have to have a university degree. So you need your police clearance, which is your PCC. You need your transcripts, your university transcripts. You need your TEFL, and you need 2 recommendation letters. Unfortunately, you really need to get this. You need also proof of education. If you come from SA, you need proof of English education, and your application form and SARS letter. I'm gonna explain to you later on how that works. Okay, so I think we can go ahead and just tell them how they can start by getting the documents and how to organize and how to go with the process. Okay, so how do you go with the process of gathering all these documents for Hagwon?
I think it's actually similar for like the first 4 of the requirements. Okay, so first things first, you have to start with your police clearance because that takes the longest to process. So you must go to your local police station, bring your proof of residence. I think it was 180 when I did it, and then they will take your fingerprints and you have to post them via post office to Pretoria. And then once you have done that, then you have to do your 120-hour TEFL certificate. I did mine via TEFL Universal. You can find them online. Just Google TEFL Universal and it will take you straight to their homepage, and all of the instructions are on the page. It was, I think, 240 when I did it. The price might have increased, and you can do it within 2 weeks. Depending on how fast you work, you can even complete it within 1 week. And then another thing that you need is to verify your degree certificate with SAQA. SAQA is South Africans Qualifications Authority. So you basically send them an email telling them that you want to verify your degree, you want to apply for a job overseas, and then they will send you further instructions. They will ask for a copy of your degree, and then they will actually verify it first before you pay, and then they will send you a copy. Thereafter, you have to pay them a certain amount of money, and then they will process your certificate for you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to speak on what she said, because like she said, the process is almost similar, but I have more requirements, as you have heard.
More documents. I don't.
So the process is going to be longer, and also you can do it yourself like she did, or you can do it via an agency. I did it via an agency, okay, to get all of these things organized, because most of these places are in Pretoria and I live in Durban, so I just did not have time to like be running around. So I just said, okay, the agent is in Pretoria, he can do all the work for me, and then and bring me back my documents. So with the PCC, like she said, you have to go to the police station and all that jazz. Make sure you do it as soon as possible, because it takes forever, especially if you're going to go through the police station route and not post it via Postnet, okay? So you can post it via Postnet or go through the police route, which takes forever. Or just do the fingerprints and send them to the agency, and then the agent can make it quick for you. I think it's like 3 weeks, if I'm correct. The next one is the degree. Also, you need to send it via SAQA, like Tanya said, for them to process it, and then after that has to go to DERCO. And then for DERCO, it needs to be apostle. Also, the PCC, when it comes back, it also needs to go to DERCO to be apostle. The third thing that you need to get is your transcripts. Okay, for your transcripts, you need to go to your university and ask them for sealed transcripts. So they need to be sealed, not open, because if you open them, they're not going to take them. Okay, so they need to be sealed and unopened. I think you pay like a certain amount. I'm not too sure how much that is depending on the university, so I won't speak on that. But yeah, just make sure that they are sealed. The next thing will be proof of English education. Okay, for this, you need to go to your primary school and your high school. That was so tedious, guys. I don't want to lie. You have to... But guys, they will not take you in EPIK without this, especially if you're South African. I think this is a requirement for only South Africans, unfortunately. You need to prove from 7th grade that you have studied in English. So go to your primary school and tell them that from this year to this year, I studied here, and then all my subjects were in English. I'm going to try and attach my letter here, if possible, so you can see an example. And you need to go to your high school as well and do the same thing. If you went to many schools,
you have to go to all of those schools.
I'm so sorry, you have to go there,
because obviously there would be gaps in between if you go to certain schools, so you have to find all your schools, have to have all of the documents. True,
as long as it's from 7th to 12th grade, and it has to specify that you studied in English. Without that, girl, my baby boy, I'm sorry. The next thing is 2 recommendation letters. This is also very tedious, but you have to do it. You don't have to have full experience, but you can go to your university and ask your academic lecturers to write letters for you to recommend you for EPIK. Luckily, I had experience teaching in China, as you guys know, so I had to ask my schools to write recommendation letters for me. And mind you, there is a template for that. I will show you a picture also on how you can do that, but there's a template on that, and you have to be specific to the template. If you do not get it right, you have to redo it until you get it right, okay? They want it a certain way, and if you don't have it a certain way, unfortunately, it's a no-no.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing is proof of teaching. Okay, so this applies only if you were previously a teacher, okay, for your teaching experience. So I was teaching ESL in China, right? So I had to prove that I was teaching. So they had to write a letter stating my work hours and blah blah blah, which I'm also gonna try and attach here so you guys can see how to do that. They're very specific as well with that. I tried to say, oh, can I send a video to prove that I was teaching? Can I send this? They were like, no, child.
Yes.
We want the letter, and without the letter, you will not get the salary you want.
Yeah.
The last thing is SARS. Okay, SARS. You need to get a letter from SARS to excuse you from paying tax here in Korea, but don't worry too much about that. Even if you don't get it, you can still come. It's just that you have to pay tax when you come here.
Yeah.
So with that, you can just go on the SAPS website and just inquire about that. So that is
The process and the requirements.
so in order to come here, remember all the things that are needed and jot them down.
Yes.
Because you need to run around and look for those things before you get started. Okay.
Yeah. So I also think that Bungiwe can also link down below some of the places that we've mentioned, like Sakwa, as well as where I got my TEFL certificate, so that it's easier for you.
Okay, yeah. And I will also link the agency I used. I used Keith, which is Wakwazi International, and he did all the things for me. I just had to pay him a certain amount. So you can also send him like a message if you don't like also like doing it yourself.
Yes.
You can send him a message, and and he can get you sorted. Okay guys, so that is it for the requirements. Well, for EPIK, you also need to fill in an application form, which I'm going to explain to you guys bit by bit. Okay, so I'm going to be alone in that video. So if you are wanting to apply with EPIK, you can stay tuned to the last part of this video. If you with the Hagwon, you can skip to the next video, which is part 2, where we're going to be explaining the recruitment process and the interview. Okay guys, I'm back here and I'm alone this time because I am here to explain the application form to you guys. I have it right here. I can't show you because it has my personal details, but I'll go through it and tell you what you guys need. You need photos. Okay, you need a photo like with the white background. Make sure you take good photos with good lighting, and you just need to fill it in. Like it just asks your passport number, your name, date, visa type. It also asks about educational background, so you can fill in like where you studied from primary to high school, and it also asks your tertiary studies. Okay, so you have to say your degree and your majors and your aggregate. Okay, and also how many years it was, and then it also asks for a teaching certification, which will be your TEFL. You have to write down the issuance and the number of hours, and teaching experience or employment experience. It also asks about the salary level. Okay, so you have to write down the salary level you qualify for. So they give you, the agency will give you a link to click, and then you can check the salary level and which one you qualify for. And then you have to write it down, and you also have to write where you prefer to be placed. So you can say you want to go to Seoul, or you want to go to Busan, or you want to go, I don't know, or you're flexible. I wrote that I was flexible, but I think there's specific requirements for bigger cities like Seoul and Busan, so keep that in mind. And then you just have to take this, which is additional information, and like it asks you about, like, it's like a self medical assessment, and it asks you like, you know, have you ever been depressed and stuff like that. You tick yes or no. And it also asks you about like, you know, personal information, like, you know, maybe have you ever been fired from a job and stuff like that. It's just like to tick yes or no. And then the next page speaks about acknowledgement of EPIK policy. So you have to tick everything to acknowledge and initial and sign. And we come to the most tedious, most exhausting parts, which are to write personal essays. This you cannot escape, guys. Unfortunately, you have to write personal essays. It's 3 personal essays. The first one is just like, why do you want to teach in South Korea? You can speak about the culture and all that jazz. And then like your teaching philosophy. I wrote like, you know, I want students to gain necessary knowledge and skills and make them excited about English learning. So you can look at mine and maybe like, you know, source out some things that you think are relevant and also add your own. The third one asked about the cultural differences. So when answering this one, you have to just say that you are open-minded. I think they appreciate somebody who's open-minded and willing to learn, and somebody who's not going to be anxious every time something different happens. Okay, so the last part of this form is the lesson plan. Doesn't have to be too complicated. First, you need to choose which level you want to teach. You can either choose elementary, middle school, and high school. It's not like South Africa where they have only primary and high school. Here they have elementary, middle, and high school. So you have to specify where you want to teach. I chose elementary school because it's like primary school, young kids. But if you want a high school, you're going to specify high school. And yeah, so my lesson was about teaching students drinks, okay, like different drinks in English. So make sure that you write key expressions the students are gonna learn. You do an introduction, which is like your greeting and everything, and then you have your development. With your development, make sure that whatever you are teaching, you play a little game, you know, a small game. It's very, very important in teaching ESL to make kids interested, you know, and not to make the class boring. So make sure that you play a little game, as you can see in my lesson plan, to the students like different drinks, and then play the little game. And also for the practice and production. So there are 3 phases: introduction, practice, and production. So the introduction is just introducing them to the words, and then practice, they have to practice the words. Production is to make sure that they understand and they know what you were teaching them. Okay, so this is mine. You can look at it and see, okay, the feel of it, and you can screenshot if you want. You can screenshot, and then do not copy. Please do not copy, or do not copy. I just put it out for you to understand, and then you can, like, you know, make your own from that. And you can either choose to do a PPT, because when you come to South Korea, you're going to be working very much with PPTs. But I chose not to complicate my life. I did not do a PPT. So guys, if you do choose to use the PPT, which is like a PowerPoint presentation, you have to attach that. You have to attach that in online. Like, you have to attach your PowerPoint presentation. But if you're a beginner or you're first timer, please, I recommend do not go through so much trouble to do a PowerPoint presentation. Just make sure that what you are teaching is relevant and to your kids, and also like it includes games. I think that is the best advice I can give you, okay, to just uncomplicate your life. I know this section can be very stressful, especially like your essays and your lesson plan. For me, it was very stressful, although I have been teaching for years. But yeah, all you have to do is just go through it. And if you feel like you need more information, you can go online and Google and see what other people have said. So that would be it for the application process, guys. So make sure that you fill this in when you're done with this. Make sure to stay tuned for part 2 of our series where we explain the interview and the visa process, and also part 3 where we explain salary and coming to South Korea. Okay, for now, ciao. See you next time. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you can. Bye.